You got recognized, you were presented with the prestigious honor of Nari Shakti Puraskar. I think it was in 2018 by
That's
Ramnath
right,
Kovind, the then
yes.
President of India.
When I got a phone call saying, when will you be in town on 8th of March? You applied for Nari Shakti Puraskar and you won it, but keep it a secret. And we were collecting our luggage at the airport and I said, oh my God. Indians have become good luxury consumers.
Right. I think the percentage has gone very high now
Yes.
of the consumers.
I don't call myself a PR company. We are a complete communications atelier. Media is happy writing about a film star. But if I say that I'm handling a Sonal Mansingh concert, they will not write about it.
And that is the sad reality.
That's a sad reality. And I was writing for what was, I won't call it a feminist, but a Femme Forward magazine called Savvy.
Namaskar and welcome to Femme Forward podcast. Today we have the honor of having a conversation with Miss Anshu Khanna, the founder of two greatest ventures of India, the Royal Fables and Goodword Media. She is also the proud recipient of the prestigious Nari Shakti Puraskar, the highest civilian honor for a woman in India. Get ready to be motivated by her very inspiring journey. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us today. It is such an honor to have you.
It's my honor to talk to a young bright girl like you.
Thank you
And
so
thank you
much.
for having us and me here.
Thank you so much. We would love to know about your journey and what inspired you to become an entrepreneur.
You know, I've had this decade, every decade I do something new. So, the first decade of my life, I was a journalist and I was writing for what was, I won't call it a feminist, but a femme forward magazine called Savvy
Right.
and Society and Stardust. And then I worked for a long time with the Asian Age newspaper as their, consultant. I also worked with NIFT as their content creating, like in-house PR professional. So the first 10 years, I was just a journalist and a content creator. Well, in our era, we didn't call it content. We didn't know how to say that. We were writers.
Right.
We were not content creators, we were writers. And then I just stumbled upon PR, which in those days was like two ends. They were journalists and they were PR professionals. We as journalists weren't so nice to PR professionals. We didn't really need them because we sought our own stories out. We did our own thing. And mostly PR was like a name used for people who were lobbying for the government or for a company or for a tire company or for a battery company. And then suddenly, I think I was possibly one of the first few people to start a lifestyle PR company in 1993 called Goodword Media Services, where we decided that my husband was a bureaucrat. He's retired now. And, we decided to call it Good Word because all that you want is a good word for yourself. Yeah. And we started off working. So initially, my first press conference, I had 2.5 people there. And the press conference was for Suneet Varma and Ravi Bajaj, who were just starting out. And I initially just did work for all the fashion designers because really there were no brands then. So Rohit Bal, Suneet Varma, Tarun Tahiliani, Ritu Beri. I worked and promoted all of them. And that's how it started, the journey. It went on and on and on. It's now 30 years, I think, since Goodword is there. It's had its ups, it's had its downs. Every 10 years, the media world has changed from hardcore newspapers, and television became important, then films became important, then lifestyle influencers became important. Now podcasts are the new things, and I'm here with you.
Right.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, you started 30 years back. What are the major transitions that you have faced?
I started 30 years back with my PR agency. Lot has changed. Firstly, the current generation doesn't read newspapers. They're totally online. So the whole shift, it's like ऊंट करवट बदलता है. So the media has also changed. It's turned turtle. you know. Today, I, being a newspaper and a magazine writer, often don't read magazines and newspapers. I get up in the morning, I pick up my phone, I go to InShots, I go to Quint, I go to Print, and I go to, I get to know about earthquakes in 2 minutes because you go to Twitter. So, media has really changed the last 4 5 years, and this whole romance with online got accelerated during the COVID era because you couldn't touch paper, so you went away from it. So online became important. But I have seen a lot of changes. I have seen this country's wave of retail come alive. I have seen foreign brands come into the country, When I was initially promoting, it was all Indian brands, no lifestyle brand from outside. I remember there used to be this brand called Bizarre, and Bizarre used to import clothes from all the Far Eastern countries like Taiwan, Thailand, and sell it here. And they were like the Hugo Boss or Louis Vuitton of that world, at that time. So everybody would wear a Bazaar, and then Mango came, then Aldo came, then Marks and Spencer came. So the high street got busy, and then of course Emporio came, and with that Dior and Armani and Versace and Jimmy Choo. So people stopped shopping outside; they would come back to Delhi and shop. So things changed, but for me, my job has always been not just lifestyle, but a big chunk of my PR is working with NGOs,
Wow.
and a big chunk of my PR has been promoting performing and real arts, pure arts. So while fine art still has a place, and books also, despite people not reading, is again books people are reading, but the media value and space for such stories has shrunk. Media is happy writing about a film star, but if I say that I'm handling a Sonal Mansingh concert, they will not write about it.
And that is the sad reality.
That's a sad reality. I also so I don't call myself a PR company. We are a complete communications atelier. What that means is that I used to teach, I just stopped before COVID. I taught public relations at NIFT, Delhi. And I realized that whenever we would have these international brands come to us, they would have a PR agency, they would have a social media agency, they would have an art agency, then they would have an events agency. And all the agencies were so at loggerheads that things would go wrong. So I started a small setup where we design cards and invites for people. So it's like a design company. Then we handle events. We've handled large format events for the Italian Trade Commission, for the French and all that. We've done large format events for ourselves, for Emporio. So we also do events. Then today, if I invite 100 women or men and each one has a following of 5,000 people, I've reached out to more people through them than I have reached out to through Vogue. So I started doing guest management. So I believe that you cannot compartmentalize PR and say मैं तो PR करती हूँ, मैं तो सिर्फ magazines में लिखती हूँ, लिखवाती हूँ और मैं तो और कुछ नहीं करती. So I do everything. I have the expertise to handle events. We have the expertise to create IPRs. We have the expertise to invite the right speakers. I remember this wonderful gentleman from Agra once came and said, Agra is a city of shoe manufacturers. We are always between flights and we are always reading books. And we have the Taj, so let's start a literature festival. So, that's not what a PR generally does, but I set up a literature festival where within 3 years we had 60 top authors coming to speak.
Right.
And that's not a PR person's job. So in a sense, I'm a slight maverick, if you might say. Yeah.
You are taking care of a lot of ventures at the same time. Yes. What drives this hard work? And
I think if you're hardworking, every morning you get up just working hard.
Yeah.
And the day you don't, you feel very like, what the hell?
Something is missing.
Yeah, you'll notice, though, if you're a housewife and if you stay at home, you'll find so many faults from your house that your cook will run away.
Yeah.
You will say, ye theek nahi hai, wo theek nahi hai. So, if you're a perfectionist. And the second thing is that if you don't work hard, what will you do? I can't. I have to work hard.
So, ma'am, can you tell us about the most memorable day in your career journey when it comes to Goodword Media?
Every day is very special, but what is the special campaigns? There was one day I went shopping to Select City Walk, and I was walking from one shop to the other, and I realized that every brand on the ground floor we were handling the PR of.
Yeah.
I'm also very happy to see brands like Forest Essentials. I used to know Meera when she was just making candles in her backyard. And then Estee Lauder came in, they became such a big brand. So for me, the biggest high is to see brands that were born in your office become such big names, And you feel a sense like you're possibly 5% responsible for their success,
Not just the brands, the malls itself.
Yes.
Emporia, Promenade, Select City Walk. They were all launched.
Yeah, they were not just launched by us. I think we created an ecosystem which a lot of people then followed, is to create a mall magazine.
Yeah.
To do fashion floats, to do in-mall events, to involve real buyers to help footfalls, do promotional events with women. So, yeah, it was amazing. I mean, I remember Emporia started from basement up, and I met them first time when I met Miss Singh, P.R. Singh. It was basement up. And then I saw it grow and grow and grow and grow. And it's incredible. I think the DLF family has really done a big service to retail in India.
They're the greatest mall in the city.
Yes, absolutely. In the world, I think, what? DLF Promenade is possibly only, Emporio is possibly the only mall that has got its brand mix perfect. You can't have a Louis Vuitton next to a body shop.
Right.
But they do it perfectly. Their zoning is perfect. They have international brands on the ground floor, Indian brands on the second floor, mid-segment international brands on the first floor. They have such great cafes. It's all perfect. I don't think even the best malls in the country have managed that.
Yeah. The vibe is so good. Yes. It is so welcoming.
Very welcoming.
Yeah.
Now. Earlier people were like, oh my God, they're so cold. But no, now Indians have become good luxury consumers.
Right. I think the percentage has gone very high now of the consumers.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Now people are spending more of their income on the luxuries.
That's right. And they understand luxury.
They understand luxury.
They don't get daunted by it.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But for me, the biggest high is when I promote an artist. Okay, so if you want to talk about my biggest high, is possibly promoting somebody like a Satish Gujral and being part of his art retrospective at the National Museum. Or promoting the only time Bhutan brought their art exhibition and called it the living cultures of religion. And how they said that their Buddhist monks are the ones who paint tankhas. So that was my biggest high. I've enjoyed working with art much more than anything else.
Yeah, so that brings me to the Royal Fables.
Yes.
Can you tell me more about that?
So I'm like an accidental person. I stumble upon things and things fall on me. I don't run after it. PR happened by chance. It was my friend Suneet Varma who got after my life. कि और किसको आएगा PR, तुझे लिखना आता है, तुझे सब करना आता है, कर ले. And I did it, So Royal Fables really happened because at that point I was consulting Emporio. And having been a journalist, I used to meet a lot of lovely young royal girls who were doing so much within their palaces, but they didn't know how to talk about it. They were very busy being the Maharani Sahib, or the princess. And they didn't know how to market themselves today, I'm very proud to say that they're amazing marketeers. So I was sitting with Emporio. They said that they want to do an interesting exhibition. I had this concept of Royal Fables. I had this concept of creating an exhibition where palace studios can come together.
Right.
So that was the grain of thought. I was sitting with this head of Emporio at that time, Dinaz Madhukar. Amazing woman. So she said, I said, why do you want to do a flea market? Let's do a luxury market with the Maharajas of India, Maharanis of India. They said, oh wow, and what will we call it? I said, it's my concept. I've been thinking about for a long time. I don't have a name. So they said, what name do you think? And sitting there, I said, what about Royal Fables? So they said, oh wow, that's a nice name. I said, okay, then I'm going to call it that. And our first show was at Emporio. And I had Princess Diya Kumari's group bring something in. I had the Mandava royal family showcase their gold embroidered, gold woven borders and saris. I had the Princess of Pratapgarh who was getting beautifully hand painted saris for me. I had the Princess of Kishangarh, whose family are the actual founders of miniature paintings, and she was bringing her miniature art and a few others. And then it just happened, and then I told myself, I've done it, but how will I raise the money for it? How will I do it? And then I work with Khushii, which is a big NGO held by Kapil Dev. And I was sitting with them, and Kapil said, you did something. Why aren't you doing anything more with it? I said, I don't have the money to do it. He said, okay, let's do it for charity then. Don't make money this time, but put it together again. And I again put it together, and it was a big success. And then I sat down with my husband and I said, no guts, no glory. Let's raise the money. Let's do it ourselves. And without a rupee in my pocket, I booked Imperial Hotel.
Wow.
For 12 lakhs. And my husband said, how the hell will you raise 12 lakhs? I said, I will. And I think my last check came one day before the exhibition. And I ran and quickly gave them the check. And we were sitting on tenterhooks. But we worked so hard. We brought out a lifestyle. We brought out a memorabilia book. We did a beautiful show. We launched a CD by the Maharaja of Kishangarh. We had the Maharaja of Udaipur come in. We had the cooks from Kotwara, Muzaffar Ali's cooks cook for us. We had Royal Salute. So we'd got the act together. Then there was no looking back.
And then it just started.
Just rolled on.
Rolled on.
Yeah, we've also now got another concept, because when we sat and listened to all their food stories, food is a great, bonder. It bonds people.
Right.
You bond or break bread together. So I used to eat a lot in their families and get invited to Rampur, to Kishangarh, and I would have meals with them. And I realized that रॉयल फूड का लोग सोचते हैं कि केयर सांगरी है और लाल मांस है और बस ख़त्म. बट देर आर सो मेनी फैमिलीज with so many strong culinary histories. Like if I eat a bharta, बैंगन का bharta at the Rampur household, it is better than what I have ever eaten in my life, And that's the reason why we started another parallel company, which is very nascent, where we are going to give food experience, culinary experiences through that, where we have all our chefs are from royal kitchens, and the whole culinary experience will be curated by a royal himself, who's a great cook, and we are going to start off a series of sit-down dinners.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yes. We even researched, helped with the research team of Raja Rasoi or Anya Kahaniya on Epic Channel, and we got them to interview 10 royal families. And yeah, so it's been exciting. Yeah.
You recently even put together the Sufi music festival?
No, I didn't. It was Meera and Muzaffar Ali. I worked with them as a PR consultant. But yes, it's the most incredible. It's called Jahani Khusro. The PM came and graced it, the Prime Minister. He spoke like a dream.
Yeah.
He recited all our favorite poetries and favorite poets like Rumi, like Ghalib. It was spellbinding the way he spoke. But yes, it's it's a 15-year, it's a 25-year-old festival. They celebrated their silver anniversary this year. It was the first ever platform where Sufi saints' beautiful world was celebrated by none other than filmmaker Muzaffar Ali, who's a Sufi himself, and he's also from the Kotwara royal family. He's the Raja Sahib of Kotwara. Yeah, we did that. I helped them put the PR and the Teh Bazaar together. Yeah.
That is incredible, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. So, ma'am, Royal Fables is a platform that believes in showcasing art, craft, and culture of Indian royal families. What is your future, perspective of taking these things forward?
The only thing we lack is vitamin M, which is money. And otherwise, what am I doing with it? I have a full blueprint ready. I want to open a store which is going to be inside a beautiful old quaint house. I don't know what house. It's going to have a little garden where there'll be music festivals with all the Manganyas, the Mirasins, the court singers, the classical singers, whose ancestors sang in all the, famous gharanas like Mahir, like Patiala, like Gwalior Gharana. I'd love to. So, my dream is to open a brick and mortar shop which also doubles up as a cultural center for royal families. I want to go online. I'll tell you what, like, for instance, anyone can weave a sari. But if I'm weaving a sari and I am weaving in a school which my ancestors founded, then that is a story. That's a fable. Like, if I'm doing the miniature painting and I'm selling it, it's fine, I'm selling it. But if the Princess of Kishangarh is selling her school of miniature art, then that's a fable. So I want to go online with this fable the moment I get vitamin M.
So, Mom, how do you curate the participants for Royal Fables?
They are like a big family now. They always joke it took a Punjabi to bring all of us Rajputs together.
Yeah.
They all are women who are doing amazing work. But I also try and bring in, because their world is very small, so I also try and bring in what I call master studios of India together. Curating is like today Instagram is so strong. You keep going on Instagram, seeing people's stories. You know that they fit in. You know that it's India handmade. So you reach out to them. Some reach out to you. You reach out to a few. Then you do a good show. They're happy. They sell. Then they come back.
Yeah. So can you tell us about some of the highlights of the previous events?
Yeah, sure. We've done a lot of work. We did a show in Lucknow where, Wajid Ali Shah created a place called Kaisar Bagh, which is all the big talukdars have houses there. They still live inside those beautiful old Havelis. We told each one of them that you bring one of the best food that you cook at home, and we created a potluck, a royal potluck.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Then we got my own daughter, Kamakshi Khanna, to literally jam with Mirasins who were from the Jaisalmer family and the Jodhpur family. Not Mirasins, sorry, Manganyas. We had the Mirasins of Awadh sing for us. They are these really old Muslim women. जैसे आप लोग किसी के घर में बच्चा हुआ, they would go and sing. किसी के घर में शादी है, but they have a very raw and beautiful quality to their voice. So we had them sing. We've had beautiful panel discussions. We had the Ayodhya royal family talk about how Begum Akhtar was their court singer. We've done a beautiful fashion show at the Baroda Palace. Yeah. We've done a lot of work, yeah.
You organize exhibitions also.
The exhibition is Royal Fables.
Royal Fable itself.
It's an exhibition with all these ladies from royal families and their products.
It happens annually?
No, almost every 3 months. Soon we've realized that small towns are big takers.
Right.
Yeah, so we've started going to smaller towns.
Okay.
We just did a show in Chennai. We had huge takers. We had women talk about It was with Ficky Ladies, and we had these women talk about chiffons, capes, and pearls. Everybody loved the conversation. How the whole thing of wearing chiffon saris set in when Maharani Gayatri Devi went on polo grounds wearing chiffon saris, and
Right.
things like that. Yeah.
I think every trend that we are following today has its roots to the, much earlier days.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
Not just royalty. I think every community, every strata had a certain style which we are now trying to keep alive or copy or take forward.
Yeah. So, ma'am, what do you hope audiences take away from your experience and from your curations with Royal Fables?
My biggest takeaway to young people is yes, indeed, wear your Western, but do keep a little space in your wardrobe for Indian clothes.
Keep your culture alive.
Yes, and so see, with Royal Fables, what I'm not just keeping a craft alive, but all these studios work with women artisans, so they're empowering. So we are giving power to women. Women can only be independent when they can earn their own money, even if it is 10% of what your husband is earning. But the moment you have that money, you have that independence to say, I'm going to buy that thing for myself. But this is a set of women who are karigars, who have had the skill but not had the opportunity. So I tell people, buy local,
Right.
support them, support women entrepreneurs, and so that's the whole game.
Right.
And keep cultures alive.
And your future, goals with Goodword Media?
So with Goodword Media, I'm trying to turn this into a content-driven agency in the true sense that yes, we'll continue to get stories written for our clients, but we want to create platforms for them which they can call their own. Like for instance, one of our clients is Safir Anand, and he wanted to do this very interesting idea which was his, called the IP Feast, where he wanted to feast on Indian intellectual properties. Beautiful products and brands and people like Manish Malhotra, like, somebody who is homegrown brands, But we put it together for him and gave him, molded his dream for him. And now, of course, he's on his own and he's doing incredible work. And so my dream is to help people chronicle their work, create contents around their work, create IPRs, reach out to their audience in many more ways than just media.
Right.
Yeah, so that's my dream.
That is amazing. I think brands really do need that help.
Yes. Yeah, and with the Royal Fables, the moment I have vitamin M, I'll start a store. And then you can come and shop there.
Definitely, ma'am. Looking forward.
Yeah.
And ma'am, how do you select the stories that get the opportunity to feature on Goodword Media?
I told you I don't source, they source me. I've never gone out to a client.
Right.
So, but we like to tell stories which are homegrown, and we like to tell stories which are rooted.
Right.
Yeah, so that's how my main selection criteria is that. Like, I want to tell stories of brands that were born in India. Now, today, forest is essential. It doesn't have to, it beats any brand hollow,
Yeah. I love the fragrances.
Oh my God, it's amazing. Even Kama, though I've never worked with them, they're amazing.
Yeah.
In beauty.
In beauty.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have people on. Recently a very young team got in touch with me, and they were creating, I can't disclose the name, but they're trying to create a bag which is going to be the Indian Dior and Hermes.
Oh.
And the storytelling was so beautiful that I was compelled to work with them. Yeah. So I'm compelled by good stories.
And that defines the good word as well.
Yes, the good word.
The
yes.
good word.
Yeah.
Ma'am, what role do you think media plays in promoting the social change?
Media is like a game changer, right? I mean, if you read of any trends, you read it on media. If you hear of anything revolutionary, if you hear of anything which is sad, it's media that gives it to you. So they are watchdogs, isn't it what they're called? Now, I don't know whether they are watchdogs still, but they are supposed to be.
Right. Everything is defined by media, we can say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Governments are made by media. They say made by media, died by media. So it's like a true thing.
Yeah. I think subconsciously we don't even realize how much influenced we are by the
Absolutely.
media.
Absolutely. And now with social media, the penetration is psychological as well.
Yeah.
It's affecting people's mental health. You know, I mean, you ignored me on my WhatsApp. You didn't like my. I mean, what the hell, man?
Yeah. It's too
Yeah, I
much.
sent you so many messages you didn't revert. Possibly the person doesn't even know how to read messages, you know?
So, ma'am, these two great ventures that you started and you got recognized, you were presented with the prestigious honor of Nari Shakti Puraskar. I think it was in 2018 by
That's
Ramnath
right.
Kovind, the then
Yes,
President of India.
that's right.
How did you feel? I mean, it must have been the greatest day of your life.
Yeah, I'm extremely fond of my brother, and he's an orthopedic surgeon. He was traveling with us. When I got a phone call saying, when will you be in town on 8th of March? You applied for Nari Shakti Puraskar and you've won it, but keep it a secret. And we were collecting our luggage at the airport, and I said, oh my God. And then my daughter, who's married in Washington, surprised me by coming to attend it. And my husband had requested for her special ticket to go in. We went to the President's Palace, I would like
Wow.
to call it. And it was, and not only that, the women who got it with me was so inspiring. There was a woman, barber, who shaved off people's head in Tirupati Balaji. There was a woman scientist. There was a submarine pilot. Oh, they were amazing. There was a commando who was teaching, and there was a woman mason. It was such a pleasure to meet all those amazing women.
So women can fit into
Any
diverse
role.
roles and
Any role.
they can yeah, and they can just excel.
Any role.
Yeah.
Yeah. No role is defined by gender
No,
except having babies.
makes
That
sense.
only we can do.
Right.
Yeah.
But congratulations once
Thank you.
again, ma'am.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Can you tell us more about how, the startups, the corporates can empower women?
You know, when I had just started my career, I remember writing this article saying, if women are given flexi time and they can bring up their kids and also work from home, and that's actually happened now. Startups are kind enough to let women. My own daughter, she's just had a baby boy and she only has to go to work on a Thursday. Not that she neglects her work, but even when she's designing something, her son is close to her eyes. The nanny is looking after. And, I think that startups have made life easier for women to work. They have made dreams easier to achieve. They have made women who had great thoughts and ideas to make it happen, like Nika
Right.
at 50. I mean,
Yeah.
at 50, you start rewinding. She made a brand like Nika Falguni at 50. So it's incredible.
When we talk about Falguni, can you tell us about some more contemporary women role models in India?
My role models are not generally led by women who make money. My role models are musicians my own daughter, she's a big role
Yeah.
model. Anyone who is pure to their career and are purists and work hard are my role models. Maneka Gandhi is my biggest role model. Every portfolio she's held, she's done it so well. Nirmala Sitaraman,
Yeah.
Anushka Shankar, Chitra Devakurna. These are all women who are pure in their career, and then they're doing an incredible job.
Kamakshi Khanna is a beautiful singer. Would love to host her.
Sure,
And
I'll tell her.
yeah, she sings really well. Really fan of her work.
Thank you.
And ma'am, what message would you like to convey to young girls who are just starting their journeys and looking for some inspiration? Like me.
You're doing a great job. It's
Thank
a
you.
Sunday, your husband's at home, and you're recording this. I always say, don't just act hard. Don't just work hard, work smart.
Work smart.
Don't just be honest and don't run after a claim too fast in life. work towards it. Don't make money your main focus. Make the story important. And nothing, if I ever had the money to open my own, platform, I would say content is queen.
Right.
Be content driven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is very true that don't run behind the money. I think it's the journey and it's the hard work which really matters.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Because if you are focused only on the money part, I think you miss out on the more important things.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. So, what have been some of the biggest challenges in your journey?
For a self-made person like me, from a upper middle class background, the challenges always have been is to, sometimes I say I'm jogging. I'm running very fast, but I'm still in the same place. Because you're always circulating your own money. You make a lakh, you spend a lakh. You make a lakh, you pay the salary. You make a lakh, you do this. So my biggest, I would one day want to land up with lots of money, which I can put up back into my business and not worry कि next पैसा कहाँ से आएगा. That's my biggest challenge. I have never got challenged about being a woman because I have an incredible husband who's incredible. I don't think he stops me from doing anything. My mother-in-law was an incredible human being. She was from the Raj Kapoor family. She was Prithvi Raj Kapoor's sister. And she was incredible. She used to always say, do what you want, So, I think it's wrong to think कि मैंने सब कुछ खुद करा. खुद नहीं कर सकते. You have to have family backing you.
Family support is very important.
Yeah, you have to have a husband who says, go conquer the world. नहीं तो नहीं कर पाओगे. Someone who's standing there when you fall down.
I think the partner support is very, very important.
Not just partner, the whole family.
The whole family support.
Because in India, you don't get married to a man, you get married to a family.
That is very true, ma'am.
Yeah.
And family support is...
Yes, it's very important.
It's the backbone.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So what advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs, especially the women?
And don't keep waiting for the capital fund. Just start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is next for you in your ventures?
As I said, I'm really itching to... So I've given myself 5 years more to work. If I remain healthy, I'm going to turn 60 this year. So my goal is to wind off my PR operation and, give it to more able, have an inheritance for the kids to understand.
Okay.
Or someone who wants to take it over. And I want to write 2-3 books which are in my head. And I want to make a brick and mortar shop for Royal Fables. And also, create interesting IPRs which can stand on their own feet. So I have a lot to do.
You want to write books?
Yes, I'm basically a writer.
Right, of course.
So I've already written the biography of J.C. Chaudhary, who's the founder of Akash Tutorials. I'm currently working on a book for food, royal food, with Pushpesh Panji, but whenever it happens. And I want to write a book for myself now.
For yourself. Any theme on mind?
Yeah, one would be a royal book. I think royalty is a very misunderstood world.
Right.
We either portray them as very debauched and, rich people, or we portray them as people who are royalty ko kaun puchta hai. But the fact is that anything beautiful was born within their homes. There would be no tansin, no galib, no weaving, no embroidery, no miniature art, no Tanjavur art if there was no royal patronage. So I want to write a book on royal patronage.
Amazing, ma'am. That is so inspiring.
Yeah.
That there is so much more on your plate that you wish to do.
Yeah, so 65 is when I'll hang my boots. Yeah.
But, so any last piece of advice to the listeners? Any last message that you would like to share?
Just enjoy life. This is all you have. You don't know what you'll have after you go.
Yeah.
So just enjoy life.
Right.
And enjoy doing anything you're doing. If you're not enjoying it, leave it. It's not worth it.
I think passion for anything that you're doing is very important.
Yes.
I mean, how much can you pretend?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I also tried my hands at multiple things, and now finally I can say that I'm really enjoying this podcast show.
Good, and you're good at it. Very
Yeah.
good.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for this lovely conversation. I'm feeling so inspired. And one
Thank
thing
you.
that I've learned for sure is that you need that drive in you.
Yes.
And you need that passion and determination.
Yeah, and don't wait. Start.
And just start.
Yeah, it just happens, the universe backs you then.
Yeah.
You don't have to keep thinking.
And
Yeah.
honest hard work pays off.
Absolutely.
And I hope to do at least 5% of what you're doing.
No, you'll do 100% of what I'm doing. Don't worry. Just be on the right path.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for having me here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for tuning into today's episode. If you're liking the content, please do comment, share, and subscribe. And if you have someone who will be a good fit to our platform, please do leave us a comment in the DM. Until next time, stay empowered and keep smiling.